Several people have asked me whether Ernest Becker proposed any solutions to the problems that he posed. And many Becker scholars, in fact, usually say that he didn't propose any clear cut solutions. However, I think that the closest he came to this was in a sort of hidden passage in on pages 140 and 141 of Escape from Evil, in which he talks about a Buddhist sentiment that he describes as being mature and transcendent, and that is one of renunciation of this world, an embracement of the stillness of death. And he very interestingly contrasts this psychological angle with the social angle of the Homo mechanicus, basically the technophile, the lover of technology, the lover of machines, which he has highlighted as well that are destroying the world through the environmental destruction, which has now become more apparent, or as he emphasizes in these paragraphs that I'm about to read, nuclear war, which back then was a bigger concern due to the Cuban Missile Crisis and all the various tensions with the Soviet Union. And I want to read this excerpt, and I think you will see that indeed this is something that perhaps has been downplayed in some analysis of Becker and the solutions that he might have proposed. It also, by the way, lends strength to the idea that he might have more overtly embraced Buddhism later in his life had he actually lived longer. It says Eric Fromm says that one explanation of the fact that the world is now bordering on nuclear destruction is the widespread prevalence of a modern Homo mechanicus. It may be, he says, that people do not fear total destruction because they do not love life or are indifferent to it, or even are attracted to death, fascinated by the prospect of total destruction. From all we know, I think it would be nearer the truth to talk about a cultural type of man who earns his immortality from identification with the power of machines, rather than a simple lover of death. Mass destruction committed under the reign of God, the machine, is a tribute to the expansion of an implacable, efficient force with which modern man can identify. It would not be an attraction to the stillness of death itself. This attraction seems to me more of a Buddhistic sentiment, that is, the achievement of a certain kind of maturity and transcendence. The mechanical man may scorn and fear living things, but I think it is precisely because he feels that they do not have the power over life and death that machines have. His eternity symbol is then the machine, which transcends both life and death. Even for a Hitler, death was not an end in itself, but a power transformation to a higher vitality, a better order.